That being said, she's mentioning being on film and stuff like that. I actually do recommend filming yourself when you get a chance. It's probably probably the best thing that I've done to improve is look back at film of every time I play games, even drills, but especially games, because you'll see things that you'll never think that you're doing, right? You think you're doing one thing, you think you're standing in a certain spot and you're positioned in a certain way, but in reality, like, you're doing something that you have no idea, right? You can't really feel it in the moment, but you can see it, right, in the film. So I always recommend the #1 way for yourself and your students, try to really push for that because it helps so much, okay? All right, let's talk about some dinking. We're gonna talk about a few different things that I've learned in the past, well, overall 5 years, but in the past 2 years, I've really changed the way I've taught and the way I've viewed the game. I'm gonna give you a certain framework that I've used that's helped me win so many things in the past, even in the past couple months, okay? First things first, we're gonna go over dinking, all right? I'm gonna show you how I view dinking, all right? Really what dinking is, it's a patient shot. It's a patient shot, but it doesn't mean it's not putting pressure, all right? If you can put pressure with your dinks, you probably should, all right? And you should do it anytime that you're on balance, right? If you're in a good posture, if you're really out of position or leaning back or getting the ball from a tough spot, probably don't want to be going for such a pressure dink. But if you can, I'm going to tell you how to put pressure, okay? So could I just get like a volunteer? Doesn't really matter. What would you consider to be the perfect dink?
Perfect dink for pressure? Or?
Yeah, let's say for pressure, or to make sure that they can't put pressure on you.
Under the pressure zone.
Okay, good. Okay, those are all accurate, but there's something that is so important that I heard from a 6.2 player. So useful. You want to, what we call, find the range, all right? So the best situation you can do is to figure out what would make them confused on if they should take it out of the air or let it bounce at any given moment, all right? So for example, some people are like this all the time and they flick and they do this. So now the confusion spot is a little shorter, right? Some people are like this, and if you put it at their feet, they want to always take a step back. So you should even, the confusion spot is like here, like past their feet almost. Does that make sense? So understanding what their tendencies are, what they're looking to reach, all right? Yes. What you want is for them to be like, I can kill this. I think I can. I don't think, oh no. You want them to feel that all the time. All right? So let's say if I'm back here and Emil puts a dink in front of me into the kitchen, obvious answer, I'm gonna let it bounce and probably kill it. All right? But if he puts it closer to my feet, I'll be like, either like this or jammed. Does that make sense? All right, so let's talk about this here. Finding my range. I'm gonna jam up. I can hit it right at him and still try to put pressure with just how far I'm putting the ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, I don't even have to move him around necessarily. All right, but distance matters most.
Just by the reach, right?
Just by the reach. All right, I'm calling this finding the range. All right. Now, the other thing that makes a perfect dink is this margin. All right. Specifically this margin. I don't want to see dinks that go up here on aggressive dinks. If you're on balance, I want you to practice forcing yourself to put the ball here every single time. All right? Now, of course, we're going to try this a couple different ways, but for now, when we're warming up, I just want you to try to focus on this margin specifically, not more, not less. Okay? Not more, not less. Good. Right? Because I could put it short, but if I cross the net just there, it's not going to go high at all. Does that make sense? So even on my defensive dinks, maybe I'll put a little higher, right? But anytime I'm on balance, I want to put it there. If he pulls me out wide, I still want to find the right margin. That would be perfect. That, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, let's do that. I just want you focusing on identifying the quality of your dinks. All right? Are you finding their range? Right? If the ball is obvious that they're gonna let it bounce or take it out of the air, that's a bad dink.
Right.
It's a bad dink. Even if it's short, that's still a bad dink. Does that make sense? All right, let's find people around your skill level, all right? And then I want you to just focus on dinks. You can hit it right at each other, all right? I'm gonna jam up. I can hit it right at him and still try to put pressure with just, right? But anytime I'm on balance, I wanna put it there. If he pulls me out wide, I still wanna find the right margin. That would be perfect. That, right? Does that make sense? Out of the air, let it bounce. Make them second guess everything. Yes. Good. Good, right? That's how you create errors, by making them step back. Yeah. If you can hit. Good. Good. Find that right margin. Don't give too much margin if you can. There we go. Nice one. If you can move your feet and get behind every ball, do it. It's a lot better. Yes. Keep the ball in front of you if you can. Good. Yes, nice confusion, Emil. That was good. Quick 1 sec here. I think you're a little bit too passive. All right, so your spacing is very short, right? She's able to she's not very tall, right? So you can really press her like a little deeper into the kitchen, and that's how you'll create more errors. Does that make sense? Right now you're kind of getting everything to land here. For her especially, we want it deeper. Does that make sense? Even if you have to be defensive, yeah. Good, that's what you want. There we go, that's what you want. Even if she takes it out of the air. Good. Excellent, excellent, right? And then if you go a little shorter, then it's even better, right? That's good, that's good. There we go, nice. Because if they're letting everything bounce and they're relaxed, that means you're not putting pressure on them with your distance, right? So when we talk about this, let's...
So on his part, he has the option of actually doing
a little bit more...
Doing a volley.
Yeah, and you want it to be like a difficult choice.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so you want them confused. So for example, when I'm dinking with you here, right? This is pretty bad by me, right here. Because look, you're not really confused, right? Everything's gonna bounce every time, right? If I make you a little bit more confused, just by changing my distance, right? It's not like a lot. Oh, but now he's letting everything bounce. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna push it even deeper, right? That's just a little bit more confusion, a little bit more difficult.
So just like whenever you do the thinking, you scoop it? You really scoop it?
It depends on where the ball is.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would love to roll everything. I'd love to roll everything if I can get it in front of me. But if I'm looking to take it out of the air and I have to let it bounce and step back, probably it's hard to topspin from back here.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I'd want to be facing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna start into this next, this beginner drill that you can use for your students. All right. 2.0 to 3 level players, a lot of you are teaching those primarily. All right. Their problem is they cannot keep the ball soft.
Yeah.
They cannot do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a game called mini pickleball. All right. The whole court is this light blue. Only kitchen is in.
Okay.
All right. Make them feel like this is a mistake. Make them feel like this dink is bad. Right? It needs to be very clear to them. All right. After that, they can get learning to control their distance and put pressure is the next step. I just want it, the height and quality, that'll come as you get more advanced and you have touch. All right, but they don't have any touch yet, right? So at this point, just make sure that they can keep the ball short, right? Get it to bounce if you can, all right? Now, of course, you can try to hit to different spots and tell them to move your opponents around a little bit, right? But the whole game is played in the kitchen for this. Yeah. So if I just have 2 other players here, all right, you can play a quick game. Let's say you play 0-0-2, right? We play. We just played a 5 or something like that, okay? All right, so here, you can go ahead, 0, 0, 2. All right. Bounce, oh, right? You wanna let her know that that was gonna be too long.
So let it go. Let it go.
Let it go in this game. Make sense?
It's only here.
Yeah. Now, what I also like to teach, and I pair this drill with a different game called Protect the Line. All right? Where you can only score points if you hit it past the kitchen. If it bounces past. All right? It doesn't mean you should play differently, but it's going to force your opponent to practice taking things out of the air versus getting pushed back. Does that make sense? So important that you have both of those skills so that you can really play comfortable from the kitchen and not get pushed around. Make sense? All right, so even if I'm playing Protect the Line, all right, 0, 0, 2. Okay. Oh, your point. All right. The instant that your opponent gets it past the kitchen line, they have an advantage over you. So this is practicing getting advantages and not getting into disadvantages. Does that make sense? So we're gonna do both. We're gonna start with mini pickleball. You can practice that a little bit, and then we're gonna switch into Protect the Line. All right? The rules are the same except opposite. Make sense? I'm going to talk about a few things here. In the form I sent out, there was a couple people who asked about the backhand attacks out of the air, right? Like flicks, rolls. We could talk about that. I could also teach the solo shake and bake. Solo shake and bake. Well, it's almost like the solo shake and bake would be you get a really deep serve and they hit a high short return. Your partner's crashing, you want to crash too, right? So how do we do that? Probably hitting a drive or a hybrid of some sort, and trying to hit a crash attack, some type of crash attack. What would you rather learn first? The flick.
I'm interested in the flicks.
The flicks. Okay. There's 3 big ones. The first is a true roll. All right. Sometimes the ball is like, I would say it's below the 4-inch line, probably. You're gonna have to roll everything. So what is a roll? A roll is literally where your wrist is here. It's pretty broken down. You can still shape, but my wrist is locked, right? You can still go from like here to like 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, something like that. But it's mostly shoulder lifting and maybe a little forearm rotation, right? Something like that. It's pretty low, all right? You can still attack and try to hit some net cord winners on people, but you have to do it like that. The flick is different. It's a snap, all right? This is done when the ball is around here or higher, some like almost net height or above the net, maybe up to like here. All right, what we're doing is we're closing the paddle face, maybe bringing it to like 7 o'clock, all right? And then we are snapping out with our wrist and forearm only, right? That we're not doing any shoulder stuff here. We're just doing wrist and forearm. We're pointing to our target, staying on top of the ball, all right? And there's a lot of plow through here because my paddle face is starting kind of closed, right? We're here. And if you notice, there's actually a little bit of a snapback, right? It's so snappy and so much plow through. I'm swinging forward. The person who does this best is Hayden Patriquin, probably. I literally call this the Hayden because he's like, boom, flat through the zone with his wrist, all of his wrist and his forearm too. Yes, it's almost like I'm really aggressive and I'm letting it flop back. Snap, right? It's like I'm throwing a towel. So you should be able to make this like sound on the tape. Does that make sense? You can do that up until it's around here. And this is, by the way, this is all on slow stuff, right? We're not doing flicks off of like a fast drive. We're punching, right? But on the high one, there's like a slapper. So what does that look like? Can I see a ball? This is done at like chest height to like here. All right, we are coiling our shoulders. All right, using our back. We're pulling from our back, unloading our elbow, shoulder, forearm, and wrist all together. All right, so move out of the way for this one. This is pure power. If you lock your wrist down, it won't go out, right? It's like pure unloading. If you get a ball, it's like this high, right? You're all out, right? You really want to show your shoulder here, maybe even a little bit of your back. All right, someone who teaches this shot the best is Ben Johns. Yes. He does this shot a lot. So if you give me like a real high floater, one more time. It needs to be like chest high probably. All right, we can do it all the way up until here. Right, we're unloading our entire shoulder. Does that make sense? It doesn't really work unless you turn your shoulder though. Right, this isn't like a small snap anymore. All right, so what I would practice is have someone just drop to your backhand, dead drop to your backhand, and see if you need to use all three. Roll, right? Yeah, so just hit some drops if you want. Like use the roll, right? Everything there is roll. Right? Because it's just below the net. The roll is the safest. It's better to control it. But this will get real power, like way more pace. What? If it's like a little above the net, around, it still has to be slow, yeah. So like off the forehand, I can do it. Off the backhand. You see how it's like really small and compact here? That's like if you feed it in, right? Right? Those are kind of flicks. Yeah, see how my wrist is broken? I'm tilting the paddle face down and I'm snapping out. Yes. If you really want, you can also use some legs to kind of give yourself a little bit more like forward energy. All right? But that's the best way I would say to do it. You know, some people use their other arm too, like that. I'm just gonna drop to his backhand. Good. Yeah. Good. Okay. Very good playing. This is good. This is good. All right. We're going to go into the next concept, which is volleys and hands and resets and blocks. All right. So come on over here. We're going to work on volleys. Okay? So a couple things I always stress with volleys. All right. We need to make sure our paddle is out in front of our body, all right, and our elbow is forward. When we make contact, we can't let our elbow come in like this, or else we lose power and control, right? The worst thing I see for my students is this. See how my elbow comes behind my back? All right? When we're doing this, sure, it's okay to kind of bring your elbow in, but you want to almost put your elbow on your belly button and keep your paddle in front of you. You'll still get some power and control there, right? You want to be able to kind of work on that pancake shot, right? When we talk about volleys though, most of the time, we're going to be sitting slightly backhand, depending on your grip, just a little bit, right? And then we hit and come back to our ready position, right? Hit and come back to our ready position. Most of the time, we don't want to be too wristy on these shots. All right, I always teach 80% arm, 20% wrist. So a very small amount of wrist, compact and out in front, right? Maybe a little bit of wrist to get on top of it, but you're not seeing me go like this. It's too loose, right? But if you don't use any wrist, you're not gonna have any power, okay? What I would say is we have two different contact points. The first contact point is right here. The second contact point is out here. All right, it's not a big difference, but When we're here, we usually want to do what we call blocking, because it's hard to put pressure from here, we'll have no power.